Greetings, my fellow sentient beings. Look, I could do the typical, I'm sorry for the inconsistency, I promise to upload regularly, but I just want to be honest. I'm probably going to procrastinate at the end of this anyway, so if you do want to see more frequent uploads, like, share and join the conversation in the comment section. Spending days or weeks planning, editing, rendering and uploading a video on a 10-year-old PC that only produces sound from one side, only for that video to barely get any traction, is just long. So any support will significantly boost my morale, thanks. Now enough of the waffle, let's talk about Top Boy. Season 3 just aired on Netflix after a several year long hiatus and it did not disappoint. Now, this isn't going to be a review necessarily, but I do highly recommend you watch it. It's well paced, brilliantly shot, and the acting is on point. Standout performance for me personally goes to none other than Kano. He added so much depth to his character and showed a wide range of emotions that really pulled at the heartstrings. He's known for his raps, but he honestly doesn't get enough credit he deserves as an actor. So, I want to talk about an underlying theme in the series and how it relates to gangs in real life. Obviously, I'm not in a gang, but if I was, I probably wouldn't even tell you. But yeah, don't take this as gospel. I'm sure it varies from situation to situation. But when it comes to dealing drugs in a gang context, there's typically a chain of command. At the bottom, you have the shotters, who are typically younger people who have been recruited by the olders. And within this group of elders, there's typically a few people at the top calling the shots and making the big decisions. And in the Summer House crew, it's Sully and the Shane, aka the Top Boys. Considering they delegate a lot of their operations to others, they're only forced to take matters into their own hands when the situation gets really serious, whether it pertains to a rival gang or law enforcement. Now, on the surface, it seems like that's all there is. But what Top Boy shines a light on is the suppliers and how instrumental they are to the whole process. Without the food, you can't make money. And without money, you can't feed yourself. The thing is, the suppliers are actually higher up than the Top Boys. And in Season 3, the suppliers happen to be bourgeois white people who are laundering money through their real estate business. These people do not care who the top people happen to be. As long as they can shift their food and stay in the shadows, they're Gucci. A lot of gang rivalry has to do with territories. Hey, big man, don't shot on our ends because that's going to affect RP, fam. Inevitably, someone oversteps their boundaries, violence ensues, people get hurt, reputations get damaged, retaliation results in more violence, friends and family become targets, and it just keeps escalating. If the underdogs happen to win the dispute, they become the Top Boys and the cycle continues. A lot of that seems to be fueled by Turks or Albanians or bourgeois people who are pumping drugs into the hands of these lower level suppliers and gangs and are so far removed from the street level that it never comes back to them if the police get involved. Think about it. For every article you see about an Albanian drug bust, there are countless black people who are arrested on the street level. So you may be asking yourself, in these communities, why are people dealing drugs in the first place? The fact is, people need to make a living. And in a society with little to no opportunities, the black market is the only option, especially where there's demand. So that begs a question, why are these things illegal in the first place? Now, most people would be behind legalizing weed, but why stop there? Alcohol and cigarettes alone kill thousands of people every year, and it's sold in every off-license or supermarket. And certain pharmaceuticals have been shown to be highly addictive with other horrible side effects, but they're prescribed by your local GP. The science indicates that cannabis, psychedelics, MDMA and even ketamine can have a lot of medical benefits under responsible conditions, yet they're heavily criminalized. And because they're criminalized, those who are dealing it don't have the protection from law enforcement. And because they don't have that protection, they have to take matters into their own hands, which leads to all the problems I mentioned earlier. Legal businesses, on the other hand, do get protected by the law. For example, if you rob a store and the police get called, you best believe that the feds are going to use as much violence as possible to rectify the situation. When it comes to drug abuse, this is a huge problem that we got to deal with. However, as history has shown, the war on drugs is definitely not the right approach. We got to start looking at addiction as a health issue and not a crime. We've got to get to the bottom of why people get hooked on these drugs in the first place. Maybe, just maybe, it has to do with the soul-sucking nature of our alienating capitalist society that people feel the need to escape from it after a long day's struggle. At the end of the day, Legalizing drugs will do a lot for society. It will give disenfranchised people more opportunities to make a living whilst reducing the necessity for gang violence at the same time. It actually requires a lot of skill to be a successful dealer. You've got to market your product, deal with the suppliers, have a good customer service to build a line, etc. However, under our current system, those who exhibit these traits are criminalized, which affects black people more than anyone else, considering we get stopped and searched for drugs. Of course, we have to talk about responsible drug use and addiction, but that's a whole nother video. And before you say that this is just apologetics for black people, just take a moment and understand the fact that so many people are being criminalized still to this day, despite all the science about weed not being as harmful as alcohol, whether that even matters or not, considering alcohol is legal and it does kill many people a year. And of course, under a society where you have so much alienation, you're gonna have people that are just gonna not want to participate, that are gonna want to escape, whether it's through watching EastEnders on the TV, going on Netflix, watching YouTube, browsing through social media for 8 hours a day, or whether it's smoking a zoo on Tuesday afternoon. Why is it the case that people that are dealing this are criminalized in this way? This is something that has to change, and has to change fast. Otherwise, I'm gonna switch, okay? Yeah. This wasn't meant to be as aggressive as it was, but you know, it just came up. It just came up. This one hits close to home because I know a lot of people that are in this situation right now. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching. Peace.